All right. I'm gonna. Okay, the broadcast is on. It is live.
Outstanding. All right. So, Mark, first question for you. What inspired you to join the Fitmen movement, and what, if any, was your biggest struggle before you became a member?
Hey, before we get started, should we go ahead and like introduce Mark,
Yes.
and maybe give hey, this is Mark, yada yada yada, and we can splice this together, obviously. But
Yeah,
um,
that's fine. All right. So
okay,
let's try that again.
all right,
Round two. Oh, you know what? Go ahead, Grace. I'll let you introduce. You can start it off.
all right. Let me clear my throat. Okay, so tonight we're gonna interview Mark, and he's one of our members of the Fitment. What we're gonna do is just kind of ask him some open-ended questions. He's gonna give us his candid response, feedback, really just kind of what the group is about and how it's impacted him, and just so you guys can get a feel for what the group is about, and how we interact and we get people into the group and how it's changed their lives. So, Brendan, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Sure, no problem. So Mark's actually a buddy of mine. We ended up meeting at a Tony Robbins concert, a get together. It was a 4 day weekend getaway, and
hmm
when I bumped into Mark, we kind of hit it off really quick because I was looking into being a life coach, which Mark actually is a life coach, and I was a beach body coach, which is something that he was interested in doing. So, we started chatting and talked about it, and the more we threw around a bunch of ideas, he was really excited at the idea to be able to hop in a group with a bunch of guys that just want to get in great shape and help inspire others and do really what he was already doing and put it into practice and tailor that more towards the health and fitness aspect. So, Mark, what I'm going to do is I'll ask you a couple of questions, just open, answer honestly, and be open about it. And anything you want to throw in there, little tips, suggestions, things that have been helping you, by all means, throw them out there. I'm sure the guys that are going to be watching this, want to hear what you have to say. So
For
let's
sure,
start
for
off with
sure.
the first one is what really inspired you to join the Fitmen movement, and we can even just throw Beachbody in particular as well. And what was your biggest struggle, maybe even before becoming a member?
I'm actually going to start this off by saying what inspired me to actually become part of this group, and that's I actually met Brandon at a UPW event, Tony Robbins event, and 4 days nonstop, pulling 26-hour days. And at the very end of that, I met him at a Whole Foods, and this dude could have gone anywhere. He was tired, he was hungry. We're like on no sleep. It was nonstop for 4 days, and this dude should have been at a McDonald's or something. He was at a Whole Foods buying vegetables and buying protein. So off the bat, I'm like, man, there's something special about this guy. So we kind of hit it off the bat right there. But so it's funny because a lot of the times when you think of support group, what automatically goes to your mind? Women. Like women supporting each other. There's not really a group of support for guys, especially something that's not drug related or something that's not problem related. So you think of support group, you think like AA, you think Narcotics Anonymous, or you think a woman support group. So I think the fact that this is just a group of guys being guys is so. Can I curse on this? Am I
Sure.
allowed to curse?
Yeah, go ahead,
is
throw it out
is
there.
is so fucking revolutionary, man, because we're conditioned as a society to think, women stick together, guys, we got to handle our shit and our problems individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's the case. I mean, there's so much knowledge out there, and the fact that this is a group and this is a space that has been created for not just exercise and nutrition, but business, how to be a better husband, how to be a better father, how to be a better man. I think that the fact that it's all encompassing makes it so special. So for me, that's what inspired me to become part of this. Being a life coach, I'm attracted to and I'm drawn to excellence. And this is an excellent group of guys that kick this off. And fathers, husbands, businessmen, driven, motivated. So definitely the energy and the atmosphere is what truly motivated me to join this group. But as far as my struggle, I'm not too sure that I was struggling with something, and that's what motivated me to join. But I will say that, you know, given the nature of what I do, the nature of what everybody else here does, our main focus and our main goal is to reach more people. At the end of the day, the biggest struggle that people like us face is obscurity. So this is an incredible way to network, which is why I urge everybody join the Fit Men movement.
No, I completely agree, and I know Chris would second that, and Jared would definitely second that. And you're totally right. To have a group just solely dedicated to guys is not common, unless it is like one of the AA groups or something along those lines. So that was certainly one of the things that appealed to us when we first wanted to create the group, and it's nice to hear that you certainly feel the same. As far as advice, what would you give? What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's really just starting out for the first time, who's maybe a little unsure, and they're watching this video, deciding if it's right for them? What would you recommend to them?
Man, I want to say something complicated and something so hard to understand and esoteric that just sounds awesome, but I'll say just fucking do it, man. Excuses are always going to be there. Action. Take massive action. It doesn't even matter what you do, just do it. There's a funny thing that happens in people, and that's we want to do something, right? Something new, something scary. We're afraid of the unknown. It's totally normal, right? But when we want to do something, we get this little doubt in our mind. And this doubt says you can't, or you shouldn't, or what if. And we listen to it, like it's freaking gospel, bro. Like it's gospel, right? Even if this little voice doesn't say why we're going to fail or how specifically we're going to fail, it just says what if, and that's it. We don't do it, right? So we always listen to that, but we never doubt our doubts. So advice, doubt your doubt and just fucking do it.
Oh, there you go. Simple as that.
Yeah.
All right. So for you personally, what has been so far the best aspect of being a Fit Men movement member? And I know you sort of alluded to this beforehand,
yeah.
The camaraderie and everything, but if you had to pick the best thing out of it that really resonates with you, and someone says, what's the greatest thing about when you joined this group, what would it be?
Trying to get my abs as shredded as Chris's, man, and just trying to pick his brain, all that diet advice.
Oh, you got Chris blushing over there. You can't hear it on mute, but he is definitely blushing.
Although I don't know, man, because his abs look like he eats nothing but broccoli and egg whites, and I've seen him posting pictures of burgers and fries and stuff. So I don't know what's going on here.
That's just to make it look like he's human.
I know, right?
That's not real. He does. He eats broccoli, egg whites day in and day out. That's why he's as ripped as he is.
Don't forget #Shakeology, man.
Yeah, and Shakeology. He puts egg whites and broccoli in his Shakeology.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. That's pretty funny. All right. So how has the Fit Men movement support group helped you in your fitness journey? And, just real quick, and maybe I can, if I can throw something out for me personally. So I know when I became a coach, it not only helped inspire others, but it makes me mentally keep myself in the game, because it's difficult for me to recommend something to somebody else if I'm not doing it or being a walk-in model of it myself.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I think, you and I have had this conversation where you need to be that shining role, that example to take lead and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. This is my plan. I've gone out, I've achieved it, and now you become a billboard of walking success for other people that are trying to do the same thing. Yeah. So, and that's just sort of where my mind takes it. But, for you, do you feel it's the same way? Do you think there's something else different that you get out of it?
Oh, no doubt. It's definitely the same way. I mean, if I can't sell something that I don't personally buy, because if I do that, then I'm just a salesman selling snake oil. And that's not what I love about this group, is that we're men of integrity. So there's certain lines that we won't cross. Yeah, we want success, but not at the price or at the cost of our integrity. So I definitely believe that you have to be a shining example. So it's actually funny, because not only do I have to stay on track because I need to be that example? But another reason why it works is because you have accountability on multiple fronts. I have the aspect of I just need to do it because this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what I personally preach, but I also have to keep other people in check. So it's a great way to stay on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another thing I've learned during this fitness journey is that you get so caught up in the outcome, right? You're living in the future, or you're living in the past, the previous mistakes that you made with your diet, or maybe you ate something you weren't supposed to in the weekend. So you're not in the moment. And when you have accountability, and when you have people who rely on you for motivation to stay on track, it helps you really be present. It really grounds you in this moment. And in this moment, you know that, it doesn't matter what you did before and what you're going to do in the future. The future is a hypothetical space and a hypothetical time.
Mm-hmm.
You know that right now you have the choice and the option to make a really great decision. You can say, I'm going to get off the couch and I'm going to start exercising, or I'm going to, make an awesome, badass meal, or meal prep.
Mm-hmm.
So accountability, man. I think that's the greatest tool and the greatest gift that this has given us.
So when it comes to accountability, what do you think? And I mean, you being a coach yourself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you see this and you get this kind of answer from your clients. But for you, what do you feel is the biggest benefit of actually having a coach that you can go to?
Excuses. You can't. I can give myself 1,000 excuses, right? And each excuse makes more sense than the last one.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's like, oh man, okay, I got to work out today, but man, I was stuck in traffic for such a long time. I missed my meal by 30 minutes, and now I'm dehydrated, and now I'm tired, and I really got to clean the house. And you're not going to fucking clean the house. You're never going to clean the house. It's just an excuse to not move your butt, right? So you have 1,000 excuses, and 1,000 of them make sense. But with a coach, you can't BS a coach. You can't BS a coach.
You can try.
You can try. You can definitely try. But I know you'll call me out in 2 seconds. Chris will call me out in 2 seconds. Jared too.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's the most important part. That remember Pinocchio, right?
Of course.
A coach is like your little Jiminy Cricket. You try to lie, you try to BS, they'll tell you, amen. Some will be a little bit more eloquent, some will be a little bit more, crass, but at the end of the day, the message is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you should be doing, and you know that at the end of the day, what you think you don't want to do is going to bring you the most amount of joy and satisfaction, and it's going to actually make you grow in so many ways. Mm-hmm. So a coach is not just your conscience. A coach is not just an accountability person, but a coach is a person who refuses, and this is what got me into it, somebody who refuses to let you be anything other than what you're truly meant to be.
And I think that kind of segues into the reason, because you became a coach yourself, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So where did that transfer happen, where you made the decision of, okay, I love doing the workouts? Because you were doing the workouts before I even met you, and then you decided.
Oh man, yeah, I've been doing the workouts since I was a junior in high school.
Okay. So
I was a little fat boy on the couch. I saw a P90X infomercial. I was like, damn, I think I saw Chris in the infomercial. I'm not sure. The dude was jacked. It might have been Chris. I was like, man, I want abs like that. Man, I just had one of those moments of clarity where everything just clicks. And you're like, you know what? Forget the excuses. Forget, whatever it is you think you're going to eat. Forget how hard the workouts are going to be. You need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, I've been drinking the Kool-Aid since 2006.
Well, okay, so and you and I sort of have a very similar story. I mean, mine was pretty much the same thing. Chubby kid, lost the weight, and then did it with P90X and started just going from there. And that was kind of the gateway, and it opened it up.
Yeah.
What do you? So a lot of guys I think will also ask the same question: is, okay, I've been doing the workouts, but I don't know if the coaching's right for me because I'm not really in the best shape and I'm not where I want to be yet. I haven't done the program, so how can I help other people? And they're just not sure if it's the right step for them. So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's considering taking the leap or never even really thought about it before, How would you talk to that person, and how would you tell them it's the right decision for them or not?
To me, this is the type of person who wants to clean their house the day before the cleaning lady comes, or wants to floss 10,000 times before the dental appointment.
Hmm.
It's the fact that you are not in the shape that you want to be in, and the fact that you really don't know how the workouts are done is precisely why you need a coach. A coach, the job of a coach is not to fix you because nobody's broken. The job of a coach is to help you get from point A to point B in the quickest way possible, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
and so maybe just to clarify, so I mean, so you became a coach, but so talking to a person that's considering becoming a coach, but not sure if it's the right move for them. Um, that I guess that's more. I just to make sure I was elaborating on the question I was asking.
oh yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying is that
Okay.
this person who doesn't know, um, the fact that they don't know is precisely why they need a coach.
Hmm.
You know, for example, you as a coach, and you and I are both coaches, but you would help me if I was just starting out. You would help me go from not knowing what the hell I'm doing, not knowing what Shakeology is, never having done P90X.
Hmm.
You'd get me Emerald in a week, and we'd take it from there. Your job is to make me go from point A to point B as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So, if I don't know, I'm not I'm not limited by I don't have to reinvent the wheel is what I'm trying to say with a coach. You know what I mean? I don't have to do anything other than pick up that phone and call you and say, "Oh, by the way, Brendan, um, what's a challenge pack and how do I sell them? Because I got people interested in them." I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's having a coach is taking the guesswork out of basically anything.
Hmm. So and then taking that step to actually try and become whether it's some guys ask if becoming a coach after they are starting their fitness journey is something that's worth it or not. And, there's a lot of different aspects to it. So you can either do it because you just want to get the discount.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it because you got a couple friends that might want to buy it from you, and then you can make just enough like retail on the side from the commission
Mhm.
or commission from the retail, so that way you can maybe get your Shakeology for free, or you can even take it as your own business if you're tired of working for somebody else and you want to start growing that residual income on the side.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah, and
so
that's another segue, I'd ask this person, you know, uh, in your life, when is it that you felt the most happy, right? And
mhm,
that's when we're either growing or working towards something or giving something,
mhm,
right? These are intrinsic needs that every person has. So by becoming a coach, you're able to satisfy both these needs. You're able to grow as an entrepreneur. You're able to grow your knowledge as far as fitness, as far as business, as far as marketing, and you're able to grow in so many ways, right? So you're able to achieve a whole hell of a lot as a coach. But on the flip side, what's achievement without being able to give something back? So to me, the fact that you have this wonderful tool that helps people who are in your boat or in my boat, I was just like you. I was a fat kid in my family for my entire life, but I had, when I turned 16, I had this moment of clarity where I decided to change right then and there.
mhm.
So I know that I can help people. And man, I've done every diet. I mean, I don't know if I've said this before, but I struggled with not eating enough calories and just not knowing. And I made a lot of stupid mistakes on this fitness journey, right? So you can save people a lot of headaches and a lot of discomfort, and you can help them not make the mistakes that you made. And to me, the fact that you can do that is you're giving them such a gift. You're giving them the gift of time. And time isn't something that we can get back.
You know,
So
and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited to see you coach because you've done the same thing that so many other coaches have done that I've done that I'm sure Chris and Jared have done, and it's going through the hard times and the struggles that makes you just that much more of a knowledgeable kind of coach because you can say, hey, don't go down path A, go down path B because I've been down path A and it's terrible. It's not what you want to do.
yeah,
So and just through your kind of guidance that from how I've talked to you and even on your personal life coaching and your business on the side. And I'll tell this to anybody that's watching this video. Anyone that's lucky enough to have, you, Mark, as a coach should be honored because, I've seen the work that you do. Even just from your daily Facebook posts to how we chat to, your morals, to your standards, to the standard of living that you like to create for not only your health, but your relationships, religious aspect, to finances, to all that stuff. So, I give it to you. You're a very well-rounded guy, and it's guys like you that we want to try and have in this group. And it's awesome to see you come in and really take control of this and to try and help other guys that want to do the same thing. And that's, I think, why we want to do this kind of video, to make this more publicly known and just kind of get the word out there.
Without a doubt, man, people need to know about this. I don't say this lightly. I don't say this just because you're my good friend. I say this because it's truly deep down how I feel. This is going to be a revolutionary movement that's going to bring so many people together. That's going to change so many lives. We just got to get the word out there, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it. And man, I cannot wait to see what this turns into, and I can't wait to see the quantum effect that this has.
Yeah, and it's already up and running. I mean, it's only been maybe a month and a half, 2 months since we already got a good 15-something people in there that every day, guys working hard at it and just really trying to give it their all.
Yeah.
So, Chris, if you want to chime in, if you have anything else you want to throw in there, by all means, you're welcome to. Get you off mute.
Yeah, no, Mark, you got some great responses there. I don't really have anything to add at this point. You pretty much knocked it out of the park.
Diet tips. How do I get those obliques popping?
We do have time for question and answer at the end here if we'd like.
Yeah, we certainly can, and I don't see anything coming in on the chat box right this second. So, guys, if you're watching this and you want to shoot us a message after, by all means, feel free to, and then we'll be happy to get back to you. But
don't be shy, guys, come on.
Yeah, I don't see anybody else on the chat. Let me check the Facebook group. Nothing in there.
Man, I should have posted that we're going live.
I posted something in the group about 10 minutes before. All right. Well, we can shoot the breeze for a few minutes. We get a few questions. Open it up.
I gotta know one thing, man. As far as sustaining, because I know that you compete. So as far as sustaining a sub 8% body fat physique, how long can somebody reasonably do that without it having like adverse effects on hormonal levels?
That's a good question. So 8% isn't that bad. I would say anything below 7 for an individual to maintain without just living.
You're kind of cutting out, Chris. Try that again.
All right, sorry about that.
You said anything below 8%, and then it kind of buzzed out.
So anything above 7 or 8% is probably fine. If you're consistent with your nutrition, 90% of the time, you can maintain that easily. It really is not that difficult if you're putting in the work in your workouts. You're really pushing it. Below that is going to be really difficult for an individual to maintain because, unless you're willing to just simply live out of a food box and have everything, unless someone's making everything for you, it's a very mentally challenging thing to do because you have to be you basically have to be in a caloric deficit, which is no fun. To begin with, because
how extreme of one do you think?
No, you don't have to go extreme. You just have to know what your BMR and your TDDE are to know what you need to do in order to lose weight. So once you're able to calculate, your maintenance calories, then it's easy. You subtract a couple hundred or 300 or 500, depends on where that falls in relationship to your BMR, because you don't want to go below that number.
Yeah.
For any, I mean, you can, obviously, it's not going to kill you if you do it one day, but if you are continually going below that number, it's going to have negative impact, and it's not going to be fun, one thing.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that you want to be eating as much as possible and either maintaining weight or continuing to lose weight. And if
Yeah,
you can do
exactly.
that, where, let's, like, for example, right now I'm about 2,600 calories a day, and I haven't gained weight in probably 6 months.
Okay, but you also leaned out to the point where you wanted to get to, and you cut up, and then you went on like a sustainable level,
Oh,
relatively.
sure. Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, so I was at competition weight. I was probably at 165, 163, somewhere in there. And now, I mean, I guess I did gain weight in comparison to that number. So I'm about 175 now, 174.
Honestly, I didn't know you competed.
Yeah. I've competed twice, one in 2014 and then in the spring of 2015.
Nice.
But
In physique, right?
yeah. hmm
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maintaining a really low body fat percentage, even those guys that compete on a regular basis probably don't do that a lot or for an extended period of time, because it really does, like you said, it's tough on the hormones, and it really messes up your body, because it's striving for homeostasis state, and that's not it. So
Yeah, exactly.
you're constantly fighting your own body in that sense. But once you get to a sustainable level, I mean, sub 10% body fat is really not that difficult to maintain, as long as you are consistent with your workouts. You're putting in 100% or more in the workouts, and you're hitting your diet, your nutrition, 95% of the time or 90% of the time, really, which still gives you. I think I did the math once. 90% of the calendar year is like 335 days. So you got technically a full month that you could use as days that you're not on point. Now, I wouldn't suggest you do them all continuously,
All in the whole month, yeah.
but you don't have to be perfect all the time. And in reality, as long as you know where your body responds to certain foods and how you can, I mean, you can go up and down. You can have 1,000-calorie caloric surplus on one day, right? And then
Mhm.
maybe you cut the next day so you're like a 500-calorie deficit, which really only nets to a 500-calorie surplus.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you're able to do that, um, disciplined, right? So a lot of that, and that's where it really comes down to is being consistent and disciplined with your nutrition.
I gotta know, man, because so many different people have different reasons for doing what they're doing. I saw this awesome video of this 80-year-old woman who's a bodybuilder, and
Yeah, I
she
saw that
looks
one.
incredible. So I tell some of my clients that you need really, really great reasons for doing what you do.
Yeah.
And the majority of people have shitty reasons for doing what they do. Like, you take, this is just me being real. The typical, you take an average woman who says, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. It's typically because she wants to fit into either a bikini or a dress for a party of some kind,
hmm
you know. Or you take the typical guy who wants to get abs. It's for summer. So I say that anybody can sustain something that's crazy difficult and really robotic and just horrible. Anybody can do that for 3 months, but can you sustain that for a year or more? So I'm curious, because you look awesome year round. So what are your reasons? How do you communicate to yourself why you should stay on point with your diet and your training? What's the difference between you and everybody else?
Um, so there's two sides to that story. There's the before I did my first competition story, which I was fanatical with that, to where it was like it was a point of contention around here in the
Hmm.
household in some ways. So it was not a healthy thing. Um, and then after that, I kind of realized that the impact that it had on me mentally and as well as relationships with my family, and so I kind of stepped back from that a little bit, and I was like, you know what, it's not that important for me to constantly miss out on things that everybody else tends to take for granted in some way. I guess go have ice cream with your kids or whatever, and
Yeah.
I would take them, but I would sit on the side and not have the ice cream or whatever. But so in my prep for my second competition that I did, um, I took quite a bit of a different approach. I wouldn't necessarily call it if it fits in your macros. What it was flexible dieting in a sense, and so that's kind of what I follow now. It's a lot more sustainable, and I'm a lot more happy. I'm a lot more happy to be, or easy to be around. Um, and so like you said, I sneak a burger in. But those are like the highlights, right? Those
Yeah.
are see that have for lunch, or the unsexy stuff that nobody cares about. But so
And
for as
unsexy just means boiled and with no salt, right?
no, I still put salt on things. So there's a lot of stuff like that where after you've gone through some of the things and you've learned some things, it's you look. There's a lot of stuff that people perpetuate that they just out of ignorance, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
But there's no such thing as bad food, right? There's no demonizing of any kind of food, or at least there shouldn't be, because at the end of the day, it's all about energy balance, and that's where the kind of flexible dieting aspect comes into play, is because your body doesn't know that you got this carb from a Pop Tart versus a
Exactly.
sweet potato. However, where that can come back to haunt you is in the micronutrient level, and where that just ultimately helps your body perform at a much better level
Yeah.
than the empty carbs, and then there's basically no micronutrients or no nutritional value other than carbs in the Pop Tart, right?
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose where you want to um, use those things, and still be able to enjoy life, right? And so that's kind of
Yeah, and be a human.
that's where I've evolved to. Now, as far as like why I do or how I'm better than everybody else, I don't know. I guess I'm that much more consistent, I suppose, because I love to work out. I don't know. I just love to get in here and clang away, right? So I
All right.
enjoy that, and I guess I get a little guilty with myself when I miss a workout, and I hate rest days in that sense, but I know they're valuable and important. But I just love to work out, and so I like to eat too. But I'm also very, very conscious of what it is that I feed my body, how I fuel my body, and I know that ultimately what I fuel my body with is going to help me in my workouts. And so, that whole synergistic of be able to work out as bad or I should say as badass as I want to, if I'm not fueling my body, and ultimately that leads to good results in terms of aesthetics. But those are secondary, I guess, in nature in some way, because I don't focus on them as much as I did, let's say, 18 months or 2 years ago.
Okay.
Can I
So
can I can I throw in something real quick?
sure.
Yeah.
If you guys are watching this, what you're going to notice is that each person winds up kind of going through their own story, and they figure out things for themselves. And remember that, just like Mark said, you can aim, there's nothing wrong, and it's fantastic to have goals. You set that 21-day goal, that 1 month goal, that 60-day goal, that 30-day goal, and that's great. And stick to that, and go all out, and let nothing stand in your way. Because a lot of times, I think people get so scared and so fearful that they're not even going to be able to get past those 30, 60, 90 days, whatever, and they don't even bother going after it. So give it your all, especially if this is like the first time you're doing it. And just like Chris had it, he had his one goal for whatever it was, like a year and a half, or like 6 months, where he had a competition, he was super strict on it, so on and so forth. But the other side of that is eventually that 3 months will come and go. And fitness and eating are going to be two parts of your life that you can't run away from. Okay, it's right up there with finances. Like you need to be able to learn how to control it. Otherwise, it's going to control you. Food's always going in your mouth, and you always have the choice whether or not you're going to work out. So, depending on what level you're going to take this to, is going to completely define sort of how you live on a day-to-day basis. Like, I've done the same thing that Chris does. I got so lean, so ripped, so shredded, but it can become almost freaking impossible to live a normal life and get that balance. And at the end of the day, guys, this is all about balance, all right? You know, we can have crazy websites like, you know, get ripped, get cut, get shredded, all the rest of that, and it's great. You can have a 6-pack or an 8-pack and, you know, all the chisels and, like, look like one of the guys in the Men's Health magazine. That's fine, and it's okay to have goals like that, but remember, it's also about being realistic, and there can be a fine line between a crazy athletic-looking physique and healthy. All right, so you know, do everything in your power to try and get there and get that physique. And I'm saying, you know, if you want to go for it, go for it. Let nothing stand in your way. But just like Chris said, you know, there are certain times where if your kids want to go out and have a bite of ice cream, I get it. You know, it's a matter of being manageable with it. And instead of like the normal 3 scoops with Cool Whip and the chocolate sprinkles and the gummy bears and everything else you're going to put on it, be smart about it and have like a kid's tiny cup of like maybe 1 scoop with a little spoon and just sit there and enjoy it and be sensible and reasonable about it. Okay, so it's a matter of being able to live your life and do this the smart way, but making smarter, conscious decisions. And that's what a guy like Chris ends up doing, because he makes these small, correct decisions on a day-to-day basis where he can still enjoy a burger because he's put in the time, the effort, and the hard work to try and get his body to where he wants to be. And he can still maintain this, and he can do this for most likely the rest of his life. So, you know, if you're watching this and you're going, well, he's in great shape and I can never get there, or even if I do get there and I want to keep the results, like I'm going to stay away from burgers for the rest of my life, don't make crazy rational decisions, all right? You know, this is all part of a learning process. So Chris went through the first one, and he learned from it. Now he went into a second one, and he learned from it. So you're going to modify and tailor as you're going through this, all right? You can do your first 30, 60, 90 days, learn from those, redo the program again, and then do that, and then redo the program again. And every single time, you'll just get better and better and better and better. And all 3 of us are to that point where we've gone through it a number of times, so we understand this. So just understand when you're coming into this that it's going to be a learning curve and a learning process, and that's why having a coach is going to be so important. And especially in a support group where these guys will help you out, myself, Mark, Chris, Jared, all these guys included, because we want to see you do good. And you'll have questions just like, you know, we all did, or just like, you know, he's asking Chris right now, hey, what about this? What about that? How did you treat that? And answers like these are what we want to give you. So that's just my 2 cents I want to throw in there, just because I sort of see that from the outside perspective.
Yeah, man, and I loved what you said about fitness and nutrition being something you can't get away from. You know, I tell my clients all the time that fitness isn't something that you cycle for 90 days. You know, you don't eat right and exercise for 90 days and then just, you know, get fat again and then say, okay, man, I'm looking a little too fat. Let me pop in the P90X again and do another round. You know, so many people spend their entire lives getting in great shape and then getting in horrible shape and getting in great shape and in horrible shape, you know, and to me that's almost even worse than just staying in horrible shape your whole life, because you get this taste of what your body can do, of how strong you can be, of how flexible and of how cardiovascularly fit you can be, and how incredible you can feel, not just energetically but emotionally. So you get a taste of that incredibleness, and then you just let it go to crap. You know, so a great thing about having a coach is that they can keep you on track, and they can keep you what am I trying to say here? Keep you focused and fixated on what it is that you love about feeling this way and looking this way, and just keep you in that mindset. You know, because so many of our decisions are based on the state that we're in, the emotional state that we're in. You know, so typically, when do people want to not work out and want to not eat right? When they're feeling crappy, when they're you know, sad and low energy. But if you have a coach,
most.
yeah, You know, but if I call Brandon saying, you know, Brandon, I'm not really feeling it today. I'm kind of, I'm kind of down. I had a bad day at work. He's gonna tell me, well, you know, man, put your freaking running shoes on, get your ass moving, go work out, have an awesome meal. Remember how awesome you felt yesterday when you had that great meal? Remember how great you feel when you exercise? Remember those pictures that you sent me at the 3-month mark after you graduated the P90X or X2 or X3? They're gonna keep you in the mental state of when you felt your best, and that is so important. You know, when you have a coach, you don't need to psych yourself out. Realistically, they can do that for you. They can get you motivated, they can get you pumped, they can get you amped, they can keep you on purpose. You know, a coach is just here to make you get out of your ego and help you stop doubting yourself. And to me, that's priceless.
Yeah, no, I totally
And I don't want you guys to make the same mistakes that I made. I hope that you guys don't make those mistakes. You know, I'm gonna try my hardest for you guys to not. Man, it came a point when I was 15. I thought that, okay, you want to lose weight, you got to not eat any calories. I was doing, you know, those like Power Crunch wafer bars.
Yeah.
I was eating a Power Crunch bar a day, and that's it.
Jesus.
You know,
dude.
yeah, man, and that's like a
I
260
think Chris is gonna
calorie
have a
bar.
coronary over there.
You know, but that's, you know, but the beauty is I had to go through that, right? So you guys don't have to go through that. I can tell you firsthand what a stupid ass decision it was and how it's not going to help you. You will lose weight, but you know, your waist is going to stay the same for a long time, but your pecs and your arms are going to go flat real quick. And that's not what you guys want. So yeah, it's we've all been through so many different things, and what's great about this group is that we can help so many people, and everybody's going through something right now. So the fact that we've been through so much means that we have so much experience and so much knowledge and insight that people don't have to repeat my mistake or your mistake or Chris's mistake or Jared's mistakes.
Yeah. No, I agree. Hey, Chris, I mean, if you have anything else you want to throw in, or if you have any other questions, we can definitely take them. I know we're kind of coming up on the hour.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, Mark, we can't thank you enough, dude, for coming on and sharing your story and sort of the insights and
my pleasure, guys.
Giving the guys here a sneak peek as to what is really involved and everything that happens in it. So thank you for giving your time.
Yeah, appreciate it, Mark.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm gonna go hit the challenge right now.
That's what I like to hear.
X3.
Nice. All right, we'll share this video with the group members, and you guys are obviously welcome to share it with anybody you think will be interested in hearing what Mark had to say. And really glad that we got Mark on here tonight.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
All right, well, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll catch up soon.
All right,
boys. Cheers.